Okay. Oh, I almost. What is this part about? This part is about how stalagmites, uh, stalag, stalagmites form. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot stalagmites. Some of the water dripping on the stalactites above falls to the cave's floors. Okay. So some of the water dripping from the stalactites falls on the floor. Okay. So the stalagmites form. You understand? Over time, the calcium carbonate in them forms stalagmites. Over time, what does that mean? Over time means when time passes. The calcium carbonate in them forms stalagmites. This also explains why stalagmites have cone-like shapes and why they're directly beneath stalactites. You get that? That's why they are in a stalagmite is a cone form, and it forms directly beneath the stalactites. You get that? Okay. Let's go to the questions. What's the lecture mainly about? What is the lecture about? It's about some formations that are found in caves, right? They are stalactites and stalagmites, alright? Let's look at other options. A, the best places to find stalactites and stalagmites. The professor is not talking about the best places to find these formations. B, how stalactites are created. This can be confusing, right? But you have to know that you have to pay attention to the fact that the stalactite and the stalagmite has the same importance in this passage. So if there's only stalactite, this is not the answer. C, calcium carbonate and stalagmites. This is not what the lecture is mainly about. What is calcite? Calcite, what did they say? Calcite was calcium carbonate, okay? So let's look at the options. So calcite is what? The substance that forms stalactites and stalagmites, right? That's what it is. Stalactites and stalagmites don't form in all caves. They only grow in limestone caves. They are formed mostly of calcite, which we also know as calcium carbonate. So C is the answer. A chemical that limestone can form from. This is the opposite, right? Anyhow, when you are picking the answers, right, you have to note that all the questions in TOEFL, you can answer it by with only the information in the passage. You don't have to know the background information to answer these questions. If those kind of options are in the question, those options are not the answers. You understand? Because you don't have to know anything. You don't have to have background knowledge to answer to these questions. So it's it's strictly by the passage, by the content of the passage. Okay, a mineral that contains carbon dioxide. This can be partly true, but this is not what calcite was in the passage. You get that? As rainwater falls to the ground and trickles into a limestone cave, it picks up carbon dioxide and various minerals from the limestone. So it talks about the carbon dioxide, but in this question, it's questioning what calcite is. Do you understand? So you have to find that from the passage. D. A mineral that transforms calcium carbonate into limestone. This is not in the passage. Okay? This is not what it is. It's not a thing to be confused. Okay, listen to part of the lecture, then answer the question. Listen, just listen.
Found in caves are stalactites and stalagmites. I'm sure you all know that the icicle...
Type 7. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
I'm sure you all know that the icicle-like and cone-like formations found in caves are stalactites and stalagmites. Professionals commonly refer to them as speleothems. And yes, before one of you asks, you need to know that term.
What does the professor imply when she says this?
And yes, before one of you asks, you need to know that term.
Why does the professor say that? Because she knows beforehand that when the students will ask her what that is. Okay? So what would be the answer? What does the professor imply? Imply means she did not directly say that, but the meaning is hidden. Okay? So she has been asked this question in the past. This is the answer. Okay? B. She uses a lot of technical language in her class. What is technical language? Technical means technical language or words means the words or the language which is only used in a particular subject. So you don't use it in everyday language. All right? She uses a lot of technical language in her class. I think this is confusing. If the option was she used a lot of technical language in her class, then that can be the answer. But this, she uses, so that means she often does that. You don't know it, right? So this is not implied. C. The semester is about to come to an end. Be about to. What does that mean? It's soon going to. All right. The semester. What's a semester? Semester is one of the two main periods into which an academic year is divided into. Do you understand? So there are fall semester and spring semester. Okay. So this is not what she implies. D. The students are going to take a test soon. No, this is not what she implied. 8. Why does the professor tell the students that stalactites hang from a cave ceiling? Why does she say that? You have to read all the options to answer this question, because you don't know what the question is asking. It's not clear. You have to read all the options. It's to differentiate them from stalagmites. You understand? When you get confused, just think of a stalactite holding tightly to the ceiling of a cave. So it's the one that is hanging from the ceiling is stalactite, and the one that sticks up from the bottom is stalagmite. Okay, let's look at other options to explain why some of them are so long. This is not why she mentioned stalactites hang from a cave ceiling. To answer a question that a student asked. This is not answering a question that a student asked. D. To point out a fact that while looking at a slide. To point out. Point out means to talk about that, to mention that, okay? A fact while looking at a slide. There's no it's not said that in the passage it's not said that she's looking at a slide, okay? You can't know that by this passage, so D is not the answer. Okay, everybody, everything is done. Bye bye.